Now I'm going to show you an AND query. So in other words, what if I wanted to create a criteria where two conditions were true at the same time? And that is what I would call an AND query. So I'm going to go to my query again. I'm again using my products table, and I've got category ID, supplier ID, products name, and price. Okay, so what I want to do is, okay, I'm going to say, well, give me the category IDs in ascending order. Let's just quickly see what I get. So here I get number one. That is terrible. So I'm going to go to return, and I'm going to just say give me all my records. So let's just run that again. Okay, and here is all my records. You can see I've got all 78 of them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I just want to see category ID 1. Again, that will limit my records to only records where category ID is equals to 1. So when I run that, you see now I get only the ones on category ID. But now what I want at the same time, I want to say I'm only interested for the category ID ones where is the supplier ID a 2. So when I run that, now, oh, I got nobody. Let's just see who I've got again. So run that, and I've got a 16, for instance. I've got 16 there. So I want to see category ID 1 where category ID is 1 and supplier ID is 16. Okay, so I'm going to put a 16 here, and when I run that, it gives me where category ID is 1 and as well as the supplier ID is 16. So in other words, I have got the records that obey both rules. Both rules have to be obeyed. Now I'm going to put another criterion in, and that is the price must be more than 50. Okay, more than 60. Okay, so I'm going to say I only want prices where the price is more than 60. So I want only category 1, supplier 16, where the price is bigger than 60. Okay, now I run that, and now you see I've only got this one Jumping Jack Lager. Okay, now price is 84. So all three of the criteria is correct at the same time. It is obeying all three of my criteria, and I'm going to show you what it looks like again. Can you see in this criterion row, the top row of the criterion, this first criterion row, all the criteria are on the same row in my query grid, and that means the computer will make sure that it will only retrieve records which obeys all three those rules, and that is an AND query. I'll show you another one. Let's just do one more. I want to do category 1 where the product name starts with A. Let's see if I've got any. Oh, I haven't got, but I had that laughing lumberjack. Okay, so I'm going to say starts with an L. Okay, now my AND query restricts my data. You see here I've got criteria 1, category ID is 1, and the product names start with L. Both criteria being both criteria at the same time has to be true for the records to be valid to appear on the query. So I've got to put all my criteria that I want is on the same line. And what's very important about this, the more criteria I put on that one line, the more specific my query becomes, and the more specific the query becomes, and the less records I will get. So this is a more restrictive query, and that's my AND query, and that's all for now.